We're going to multiply polynomials. Before we multiply polynomials, I want to multiply two terms together, 2x and a 3x. So what we will have is a 2 times 3 and a x times x. 2 times 3 is 6, and x times x is x squared. So we multiply the coefficients together, and then when we multiply the variables together, we actually add the powers together. So a lot of times the confusion is students will want to either add 2 and 3 together because they added the two powers together. Sometimes they want to multiply these two together and then say this is a 2x here. But simply what you do is multiply the two coefficients together and then add the exponents of your variables. Let's go ahead and begin multiplying a binomial with a monomial. So a times b plus c. So we are going to distribute that through, so ab plus ac. So we will use the distribution property, and this is nothing new, but we have to apply multiplying our terms together. So 7x times 3x minus 5. So we are going to multiply 7x with both of these terms. So for the first one, 7 times 3 is 21, and then we'll have an x squared. 1x, or x to the first power, times x to the first power. 1 plus 1 gives us that 2. Then we'll have 7x times negative 5. Negative 5 times 7 is negative 35, and then bring the x with us. Seven x times 3x plus 2. Distribute the 7x through. 7 times 3 is 21, and we'll have x squared, and then 7x times 2 is a 14x. Three x squared times 5x plus 2. Distribute the 3x squared. So we have 3 times 5, which is 15. X squared times x. You add the exponents, so we'll have x to the third. We actually have 3 x's being multiplied together. If we have 3 x's multiplied together, you use the definition of exponent, which would be x to the third, or 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6, and then we bring our x squared over. One more. We distribute 15 times 3 is, or 5 times 3 is 15. X squared times x squared, that's x to the fourth. 5 times negative 8 is 40. X squared times x is x to the third. Now, let's multiply two binomials together. So the definition of multiplying two binomials together, you're going to take a times c plus a times d plus, you're going to take b times c plus b times d. Okay? So technically what you're doing is a times c plus d plus b times c plus d. Okay, so you're taking each of those terms and applying the distribution property to each of them. Or FOIL, firsts, outers, inners, and lasts. Or sometimes they call it the McDonald's rule, because here's the eyes of the clown, McDonald's, and then here's his goofy smile. So I don't know. Somebody was really creative on that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply. X times x is x squared. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. So we took the x and we distribute it to each of these terms. Then we take the 7 and distribute it to each of those terms as well. And if you need to, you can always say we're going to take x times x minus 5 plus 7 times x minus 5. And if you do that, if you have to write it out, you will always get what you need instead of just only relying on the arrows. Add like terms, so we get x squared plus 2x minus 35. These two values that are in the parentheses, think of that as one whole item. That 7 plus x and the x minus 5, those are actually called factors, which you will see later. Factors. These two are factors of this quadratic. Anyway, let's keep going. I like to throw in extra FYI stuff. Because sometimes if you hear it once before and then you hear it again, it sticks with you a little bit more. Okay, so let's go ahead and FOIL or distribute the x. So we have 2x squared. The x needs to go with the 5. That would be negative 5x. Take the 8 and multiply it by 2x. That's going to give us a 16x. And then we have a negative 40. 2x squared plus 11x minus 40 when you add the middle two terms together. Let's go one more and then we will talk about multiplying just any polynomial together. So we have 5x times 3x, that'd be 15x. And then we have a negative 5x plus 12x minus 4. Add the two middle terms up. Oh, I didn't put my square. I'm sorry, guys. That x times x, that's x squared. And if you wrote that down, give yourself a pat on the back. Okay, now we will multiply, just multiply polynomials. And I'm going to handle this by the stacking method. I call it the stacking method. Sometimes people say organizing by columns. Or, well, my method's a little different than organizing by columns. So anyway, let's do the stacking method. So we have x plus 4 times x squared minus 2x plus 5. And what we're going to do for each term, or for each one we multiply to this, it's going to be one line. So technically, you can say, well, this is x times that quantity, and plus 4 times that other quantity. Okay, so that's technically what we're doing. We're taking x and distributing it through the trinomial, and then taking the 4 and distributing it through that trinomial. So I'm going to go back up here. This is x to the third minus 2x squared plus 5x. There's my first line. My second line will be for my 4 times x squared, that's 4x squared. I'm going to place it under here because they match. Minus 8x plus 20. After you're done multiplying each term, because this you can do it with two trinomials, with bigger, you can do this with any amount of terms you have in those polynomials. With the first polynomial, however many terms you have in there, that's how many rows you'll have. So after you're done multiplying and making sure that you're stacking your the same variables on top of each other, you can simply add x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 20. This helps a lot instead of taking this and putting it all in one row and then having to pick and find all the common terms. Let's go ahead and work another one. X squared minus 4 times 2x squared plus 4x minus 8. Okay, so 2x squared we're going to multiply, so that's 2x to the 4th. X squared, that's going to be 4x to the cubed. X squared, that's going to be negative 8x squared. Now the negative 4, we have negative 4 times 2x squared. That's going to come down here because that's going to be negative 8x squared. And then we have minus 16x, and then a positive, what, 24? 32, I mean. Add your like terms, which if you use the stacking method, they already are matched up for you, and you just add down, and we are done. Okay, so this is the stacking method of, there we go, this is the stacking method of multiplying polynomials together, and this can be done with any number of terms in a polynomial. This will conclude this video.